I think about truth and knowledge. Knowledge has to be truth. There are, in my opinion, dozens of different types of philosophy, and they've all got their own ideas about truth. I don't think that I can be aware of knowledge unless I understand one of those philosophies, and that's empiricism. Now, empiricism includes within it an idea of truth, that there is truth, so it's unlike nihilism. That truth is knowable, so it's unlike skepticism. That truth is subjective, so it's unlike sophism. That truth is experiential, so it's unlike metaphysics. Another way I think about this is that I've got an example there of knowledge of the colour red. So it's very introverted thinking, it's very analytical, propositional, logical, and there's no truth in it. That's because empiricists believe that truth is a sensation, an objective sensation, or that's what I believe. So truth about the colour red requires an experience of it, because to see is to experience and red is real. So to see red is to experience reality, is to be aware of truth. Rationalists think that that's truth. So that's the other philosophy of knowledge. So there's only two. But empiricists think that there's no knowledge without experience. That shouldn't be there. Pop in here and delete that. There is non-empirical knowledge. Relatively, it's tiny. I don't know if they're rationalists or or what's going on. It comes with a warning, and that's the word theory. I don't think science includes in theoretical physics, because I think science is empirical, and scientist for experience is experiment and study. Discoverers are different. They don't want the truth. They already know the truth. What they're looking for is a true belief proposition about justified truth. Again, because they're empirical or empiricists, their words for justified truth are going to be words for reality and experience. So for experience, excavate, observe, dig. For reality, specimen, fossil, artifact. From the heroes of knowledge to the stars, the inventors, their words for justified truth are test and prototype. So to test is to see something and touch it as a way of becoming aware about it, where there's some danger involved. So it's a type of experience, and a prototype is a real object. So to test a prototype is to experience reality. Okay, engineers similar test, prototype, 3D print, model, build. And technologists for experiences, test and trial. So alpha test, beta test and trial. Technology starts with fire and goes to nanotech, I think. It's a type of empirical knowledge like science, but the jargon's all different. But it's the same thing. Trial is a word that technologists use for experience, especially biotechnologists. Okay, and a trial is a type of experience. It's more than a test. It's not a walk in the park, which is also an experience. It's an error, a tribulation. It's anxious. So it's a type of experience that's an ordeal. So a photo there of a cyclist time trial. Lawyers also use the word trial and evidence for justified truth. Medico for justified truth is examination and patient. So to examine something is to look at it, maybe touch it as well, like test a patient, body's real. Technician to survey land. Is there an example of technician for justified truth? So to survey is to look at something through a survey instrument, and land is also real estate. So to look at real estate, experience reality, over and over again. And a trade word for justified truth is a word for experience, and that's inspection. Empirical knowledge has to be repeatable. So it has to work the same every time, everywhere. That's part of its truth. To ask the knowledgeable to justify their knowledge as truth is to read or hear words like these, which are just words for experience and reality. And that's because they're empiricists. Okay, so the benefit, I think, of this cognitive function subjective thought is knowledge, that type of information. And the proposition of this challenge is about awareness. So the only way to be aware of knowledge is to understand two philosophies. That's rationalism and empiricism, but especially empiricism. That's the key one. To come into this type of information or try to be aware of this information from a philosophy of sophism, for example, just will not work. It just won't. It's just because the knowledgeable are not sophists. Okay? So they don't believe truth is relative and that there's no conviction, only persuasion, which is rhetoric. That's not what the knowledgeable think. Okay, the knowledgeable are about conviction, not about persuasion. They believe truth's either rationalist, which is a dead end, or it's experiential, which is where the knowledge is where all the work is, in my experience. Anyway, that's what I think.